is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. Welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. Anthony and Skylar will take it from here. Master Chief, out.
Hello and welcome to Quality Time, the KO Koala Entertainment Podcast. My name is Anthony Nicolosi.
And I'm Skylar Sokol.
And today it is December 22nd, 2020. The year that many do not like is coming to a close. And the way we thought we'd spend it is by talking about some of our favorite game experiences from this year.
That's right. Not our favorite games necessarily, but our favorite experiences with gaming.
Yeah.
I just think that's almost a more interesting topic. Like, if anyone is interested in what some like great games that came out this year are or whatever, hit me up, DM me on Discord, whatever. We can talk about it. You tell me what games you like, I'll tell you what games to play. But I think from a design perspective, and just talking about gaming in general, I think it's better to describe an experience and just think about that.
Yeah. Is there something on the tip of your tongue you've just been waiting to unleash to the world on this one?
Not necessarily. I think we'll start with our top three, and then we'll see how long it's been. And if we want to talk more, we can think up more. But
okay,
I can talk about one of my favorite gaming experiences.
Yeah, sure. Go.
Yeah, my first one, I think, is my experience playing Control. The
Remedy game.
Yeah, Control, absolutely one of probably my favorite third-person like action adventure game of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
What
only
even
rivaled maybe Assassin's Creed 2.
Really? Okay.
But only because my family and I, speaking of gaming experiences, my family and I were in Italy while I was playing Assassin's Creed 2. I had my gaming laptop, and like at night in the hotel, I'd be playing Assassin's Creed 2, and then we would go out in Italy, and that game is set in Italy, and I would literally see scenes from the game in real life like the next day.
That's crazy. That's cool.
That was like,
I didn't know that.
That's one of my favorite gaming experiences of all time, honestly. But anyway, so the thing about Control that really like hits me hard, it's not the like fucking awesome gunplay. It's not the like crazy powers. You can fly. You can like telekinesis shit. It is the fact that every single written piece of lore, like, and there's a ton that you can find, was interesting, and I actually wanted to read it. That has never happened to me in a game before. Like in Cyberpunk, there's so much random like data logs you can pick up and read. They vary from like news articles to like text conversations between people to everything. Anything you can think of, there's a log for, basically, that just surrounds the universe of the game. And I usually skim them, if that. I read like the first and last sentence maybe, because they're not that interesting. But Controls, every single one. I did not find a single piece of paper that I didn't think was interesting enough to read, and I never like regretted reading them. And that has never happened to me in any game I've ever played, especially games like this, like action adventure long form games with tons of lore and universe building, like so much just in the game itself that you don't even feel like you need to read it to like get the full game experience. This one, like every single one, enhanced the game. You would like find papers that described like a demon, like the way the game works is there's like all these weird events happening with random like seemingly normal objects. So one of them describes like this demon refrigerator that eats people. And you're just like, what the fuck is that shit? And then like 3 hours later, you're like in the secret archives of the company, and you just find the demon refrigerator and like have to like, and it's like a side quest unrelated to the main story, but it's there and you can interact with it and like do stuff with it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Really cool. And like it gives you hints about the story, so to get like a complete understanding of the story, you have to read them, and you can like predict the story better and understand what's going on better by reading them. They give like nice subtle clues. It was just really well executed. Never before did I think a game would make the written lore good enough that it would actually make me want to stop playing an action game to read a document.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. I generally, I usually don't even read that kind of stuff. But I would definitely agree with you. The games that I do, it's very forgettable, or at least it seems like it a lot of times. But so that's cool. That's cool. My favorite part of your playthrough was still that that moment, whatever, near the tail end where the janitor's tape or whatever the fuck plays.
Like the whole game you get. Yeah, this is another actually amazing game experience I had from Control. That's true. I didn't even think of this one. But you get the whole game. There's like this ominous, like intense actiony music, whatever, like normal action game, like ominous music, whatever, sci-fi. And then at some point you like find this janitor guy in the back, and he's like this mysterious character the whole time. No spoilerinos. But he gives you his Walkman. And he's like, this will help you get through this like maze that people can't normally get through. Like it's this like impassable maze. And you grab it and then you go into the maze and it starts fucking jamming with like rock, like 80s, 90s rock music, basically. That you just like kill dudes to this whole time going through this maze. And
cool.
That sequence is so cool. Yeah. And also just streaming all of Control was a really fun experience for me. That's one of the like long form games I've streamed ever. Like, and that was really satisfying and fun.
Pretty long game. Compared to the other ones.
Right. So right on. Control number 3, I guess, for me, although mine aren't really in any order.
Yeah, mine aren't necessarily going to be in any order. I'll actually start maybe with Doom. I'm happy. This is finally the first year. I mean, finally the year where I finally played it. When it first was coming out, I played the beta and really enjoyed it, and have always been wanting to check it out. I didn't even play Eternal yet, but I'm planning to eventually. And long story short, in a lot of ways, Doom totally met my expectations on. Halo, so like generally holds the only. I don't really like a lot of shooters outside of Halo, and Doom was the first hint of maybe there being another one, and I did enjoy Doom quite. What's
your favorite experience while playing Doom that you can think of?
I'm like by far my favorite.
It was the platforming, right?
No, definitely not. It was, I want to say the last 3 levels became much more like moving from fight to fight focused. There wasn't much platforming. There wasn't much of anything except moving from conflict to conflict. And those last 3 levels were a ton of fun to just like, that was my favorite part of Doom, was when you were in those like arena sequences where you just needed to kill everything in there for a while. I still so much like regret that radial menu. I don't know if that regret is the right word, but like I just wish I could just toggle through. Anyway, there's things that with there, but I'm very happy I finally sat down and played Doom. That was I said it before, but I think that's my favorite PvE shooter, like new shooter I've played since like Halo Reach came out back in like 2010. So
we'll have to see how Eternal treats you then.
Yep.
I think my favorite experience from Doom, which I also played this year for the first time, was the boss fights. I thought that like big mega robot demon boss fight, not the final boss. Final boss was fine, but the one where you fight that big demon and then it's
Cyber Demon?
Demons. Yeah.
Yes.
Those boss fights were just so well made. The units had really interesting patterns that had a lot of variations, and like just like the mastery path of those boss fights, the mini path you get to follow, like mastering those boss fights was really fun for me. I really like boss fights in general. I'm a big like boss fight simp. Oh wait, I can't say that on Twitch anymore. I'm a big boss fight boy, and
you're a big boss fight incel.
Yeah, exactly. And so a well-made boss fight is really satisfying to me. And I feel like FPSs generally have some of the weakest boss fights of any games. And I think Doom really hit it on the head. Like they made an actually compelling, fun boss fight. And I bet Eternal's boss fights are even better.
Yep, I agree. I think those are... those are the best first-person shooter bosses I've ever played.
Yeah.
For sure, for me personally. So yeah, I agree. I think my favorite one was the 2 crabs guys. I call them the 2 crabs from hell.
I really like
you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite one from that game. But yeah, it was fun. That was the boss fights they weren't just good, they were fun. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like so. Anyway, so I think that's probably. I also don't really have an order there.
But that's your third.
It's
the
one
first
of the
one
three.
you're stating.
Maybe third. Yeah.
Maybe third. We'll say third. All right. My second gaming experience happened very recently. And that was the process of not only buying, but then getting my Sound Voltex controller, my controller for that game that I just recently started.
Which we saw last week on stream. If you're listening to this in audio form, last week prior to our Quality Time stream, Skylar was playing it using this controller on this. It's like a rhythm game.
Now.
Yeah, he's showing it on stream right now. If you're listening to audio format,
these buttons,
you should definitely see this on YouTube.
2 knobs. Yeah, so that's the controller.
And it tilts, right? It's got some kind of like accelerometer.
The knobs are what you turn. It does not tilt.
Oh, gotcha.
Basically the rhythm game needs this controller. Playing this game on a keyboard or whatever would be crap. And so I've only ever played it in the arcade before this. And there's an arcade near me that has it that I really loved it at, but the arcades have all been closed because of COVID. So I really wanted to play this game. And the controllers are very expensive. They're not cheap. They're like $200.
Shit.
And I mean, this thing is huge and heavy. It's nice. Like this is
it's big.
all
It's a
metal.
big boy.
It's all metal. It's super nice. So I went on this website for this guy Yuan Khan, and basically they have a Discord, and in the Discord he posts when there's stock, and so he announced there was going to be stock, and there were going to be 75 of them. That's it.
Shit.
And all the people, it was fun. Like everyone was in the Discord hanging out, getting hype for the stock to release. He then like released it. I got one. I'm sure it was very similar to your Xbox buying experience. It was
crazy hard,
satisfying, but like and fun. It was fun and satisfying and stressful all at the same time. And I was so hyped when I got it. And then it came, and just playing the game with this controller is almost identical to playing the arcade. The only thing I need is to turn my monitor vertical because the screen on this game is like very tall. So eventually I'm going to turn my monitor vertical and play it like super legit.
Okay.
We'll see. It's gonna be hype though. But actually, I had a really cool experience the other day with this controller, which is one of the buttons was not consistently working. I'd push the button down, and like you can tell because they light up when you push them whether they're working or not. And I would push it down, and if I had to do a hold, it would sometimes not do the hold. And I was like, what the fuck? This button's broken. And I was kind of pissed, right? Because I just bought this $175 controller.
Tell me you fixed it.
So this dude has literally like 30 YouTube videos of how to do-it-yourself fix any problem that you have with this controller, like ever. How to clean it, even how to build one from scratch. And it came with this little pack with a screwdriver that's like set for the screws, extra springs, all this shit. So I opened that shit up and I like pulled out the button insides, fixed it, and then it just worked perfectly. And I was so happy. It was so satisfying.
Hardware genius, Skylar.
And no, not at all. I literally just pulled the button out, couldn't figure out how to get back in, had to go back to the video and be like, what the fuck am I doing? Put it back in, didn't change anything. I literally just removed it and like put it back in and it fixed it. It's good that I didn't actually have to do anything or I would have been fucked probably.
That's funny.
But yeah, this has been a really cool experience. I played Spin Rhythm XD earlier this year and bought like the DJ controller for that. But this is like beyond that because this is such a cool game and I love it. It's rivaling U-Beat as my favorite rhythm game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Like I said before, for those who are listening in audio, you should go to on our Twitch VOD. You can see Skylar actually playing this game.
Yeah, I might play some more tonight after this podcast too.
Yeah, there you go. And check it out because it's crazy to watch too. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's such a visually stimulating game for sure.
Yeah,
it's so much going on.
I fixed my Elite controller this year too. This was the year of us fixing our controllers.
Wait,
dude.
what? Tell us the story. What happened?
Well, so okay, the full story is that I play bumper jumper on Halo, and that causes severe Xbox controller casualties. This is actually, had I not fixed it, this would have been the 5th controller I have broken this way, this generation. And basically, I break the bumper. I'll hold it up to the screen just to demonstrate. In Halo 5, there are certain movements when you chain the movements together, you can reach certain places on the map or whatever that you can't otherwise. So I'll sprint with this paddle in the back, right? I'll initiate here. I press the thumbstick down. I'm like dragging it down. And as it goes, I also hold this. I press my bumper to jump because I jump with bumper. So it's like a thing like this. And then while I hold the zoom in button, which is this thumbstick press, I'm spamming this. So as you can see, like it's a forceful button press. You know what I mean?
Press it to get this to happen.
Yes, because what happens in the Halo like whatever hitbox of your character, you're auto stabilizing in the air, and as you spam jump, no, I'm sorry, it's spamming crouch. You're going like your character's going like this in the air, and if you get it, you can like reach something that you can't otherwise. So, I have broken. That was the 5th bumper I've broken that way. However, it's true. The chat is reminding me Xbox Man actually fixed it. That's
Xbox
true.
Man?
Xbox Man is the masked hero who fixes Xbox controllers. You can only see him. He's very elusive. The only way to see him is by checking him out on our Instagram or on our TikTok. He's made his appearance there. You can see Xbox Man did actually fix the Elite controller. Very nice of him. Yeah, and he even stopped PlayStation Man on one episode too. So anyway, you should.
Wow, I gotta check this out. I didn't know that there was a whole anime arc going on.
There is. So anyway, year of the controller fixing.
Yeah. All right. What's your next game experience from the year?
The next one is kind of a cheat. It's a combination of several, but it's basically this year. The Halo channel in our Discord server has really blossomed, and there's been basically a small little community that we've developed and started running a bunch of games together.
I mean, you used to basically only play with your family, right? Your family.
Oh yeah, or solo queue, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So we. I think there were a couple of sessions. The one that I really remember. So one of the members of our server is named Sato. I'm not sure if he's in here now, but he's traditionally had a PlayStation and played on the PlayStation. But after watching us play Halo all the time, he really wanted to get one. Long story short, after several months of trying, he basically got his sister's Xbox, if I remember correctly. Marcus bought him Master Chief Collection so he could play with us, and we had this like huge big team battle fest one night with him. I think it was in Master Chief Collection, and I specifically remember some of these crazy 8v8 big team battle. I think it was a capture the flag game we had, and Sato actually did okay for it's relatively rare for how well he did. And it's just hey, there are a few things when you have those old, especially the old Halos, which because they're a little older too, I think that kind of helps them be like a little less sweaty. But those big ass 8v8 big team battle games can get so funny, dude.
That sounds like crazy and goofy and super funny.
There's one fucker with a Hornet up in the air shooting a rocket. His passenger in there is shooting the rocket. Sato's driving the Warthog with Sinister in the back having the fucking flag. And then Marcus, who's going to help everybody in his Ghost, I think just drove off the ledge and shit. So stuff like that. The Halo epicness with the Discord server is probably my second experience with that night in particular. We also had a night, Toby's in chat right now. We had a night with Toby and stuff playing the Halo 4 update, crossplay and Master Chief Collection. Was a great update. So that's what I'm going to probably say. The Master Chief Collection goodness, which also I'll just plug, man. I'll just plug because that game released in 2014 as a honestly, the recent Cyberpunk stuff has probably eclipsed it. But since that, I don't think a game has come out with as much ridicule about its bugs since, So props to 343 for not only fixing all that shit, but putting it all on PC finally this year with crossplay and all that stuff. Honestly, in my opinion, it's the best Halo game there is right now.
Now we'll see if Halo Infinite can can beat that bar next when fall 2021. Is that what it is?
Dude, yeah. I'll also, just because we just said bugs, if they hadn't delayed Halo Infinite, I think Cyberpunk would look good right now.
I am certain Cyberpunk would look good right now.
Dude. So anyway, yeah, hopefully, hopefully, man, hopefully Halo Infinite's great. Same way.
Yep.
So that's probably my second one.
Nice. All right. Well, my number one, and I'm not sure. I think did we start streaming this year? I think so.
I don't know.
Or maybe like
Toby, was it this year?
Well, Toby's been subscribed for 8 months, and I assume Toby has been subscribed for basically the maximum time. Yeah. So it was this year.
Wow.
Which means that this experience was this year. And that game, Anthony actually, when I brought up this topic, it was the first thing he said to me, and he's totally right, is Sayanora Wild Hearts. I think it's like basically one of the first games I streamed on the channel, and holy shit, is that game good. I have gone back. That's probably the single player game that I have beaten the most times of any game.
Really?
I've ever played. Yeah.
How many times did you beat it?
Probably at least 10 at this point.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Because there's like an album mode where you can just play through the whole game nonstop. And I mean, it's short and it's just
What's nonstop? Like, what do you mean?
Like with no score screen. Because normally when you play the levels, you get a score screen after each level. That gives you like your stats for that level, but then this one makes the whole game one score, and you just get one score at the end for your entire performance over the whole game.
Okay.
And then there's also a hardcore album mode where if you die, you lose, which I haven't actually even beaten yet, so I want to beat that at some point. But Sayanora Wild Hearts, the music in that game. I mean, Marcus the editor, one of our boys in the Discord, literally from watching me play that game, like obsessed over the soundtrack, started listening to it all the time. I believe he wrote an essay for school about it.
I think so too.
Like that just like and for me, that music has been amazing. Like anytime I'm just chilling and I don't know what to listen to, I can always just like turn it on. I never thought a video game soundtrack would feel that way to me. And I don't know, like it's sort of a rhythm game, but it's not. It's like it's less of a rhythm game than some games I play, but it's more of like an endless runner plus QuickTime events. And who would have ever thought that an endless runner plus QuickTime events could be like one of the most compelling game experiences I've had this year? But
yeah, it's true. On paper, it doesn't sound like it would be, but just watching that, and actually, some kind person just gifted it to me. Skylar just gifted it to me on Steam. So I'll be sad if I don't beat it. I will beat it this break. You know, I have a couple weeks off, so I'm going to be beating. Stream. Yeah, I really enjoyed the music too. I just watched it and it was just like, wow. Now that we've started making games, you know, over the last few years, I definitely have that this additional perspective on it from like just not to say like insight, but just it's an additional perspective of like, wow, how they must really have gave a shit to make a game like that. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, you really need to step outside the box in a lot of ways to make a game like that, in my opinion, in a lot of elements of the creation process. You know?
And it is on sale right now for anyone listening. You should absolutely buy it and play. It's one of my favorite games I've ever played for sure. And it's so easy to get into, so fast, and it's so fun.
And it's not that long. It's
like 2 hours long. Also, fun fact about it, just because we're talking about it, might as well throw my fun fact in. So Queen Latifah is the narrator of the game. And apparently the developers, right, they started developing the game, then they got picked up by Annapurna, who published the game. And they wanted a narrator for the game. But they didn't know who to have. They didn't really have it written. And then they just like randomly threw out as a joke that they thought Queen Latifah would be cool. And apparently in the background, Annapurna like got her on board and like had her come out and record it. And like the developers were super hyped. So example of a publisher not being shit.
Yeah, no, we've talked about Annapurna a few times here passingly, but we should probably talk about them more at some point, you know, they're one of your favorites, right?
I have never played a game by them that I didn't love.
Okay, so not only do they seem to conduct business well, in your opinion, I guess, but also they publish some bangers. Sounds like
they publish only bangers, as far as I'm
only
currently
bangers.
concerned.
Only bangers. They were also the impetus behind the disappearing games conversation.
That's
because
right. They post some interesting
they were
Twitter
the ones who
stuff lately.
posted their Twitter. Yeah, so they if you don't know about Annapurna, you should.
And now, upcoming game 2021, we're going to be talking about Stray, the game where you play as a stray cat in a post-apocalyptic robot future.
Is that PlayStation exclusive?
It is PC as well, thankfully.
Okay, good. Okay.
I actually don't
Which
think
I'm
Annapurna-
buying next year, by the way.
Hell
next
yeah.
Next year, although, what I just said on stream, I was telling Derek, I was like, yeah, I'm going to need to save up a couple thousand for my PC rig and a couple thousand for the Halo Infinite cosmetics.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm about to have my new PC. I just need to get the graphics card. Once my processor comes, I can build it. So I'm super hyped.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, next year is going to be a PC master race blammo.
I think the big end of the year
blam party
celebration should be you playing Doom Eternal on mouse and keyboard. That'll be the end all be all. Then you'll know.
That transition needs to happen. It's just so frustrating, to be like, oh, I can do this on a controller. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta bite the bullet eventually.
You do. Anyway, what's your number one gaming experience of the year, if it's ordered? Or
I thought about this. This is cheating, maybe a little bit.
Okay,
but hear me out.
I'm hearing.
So,
I feel like during our best games of the decade, your answer number one was also cheating. So I feel like this is just like a yearly theme for you, that one of your answers will always feel like cheating.
Yeah, but this one's, I think, a little more interesting. So last year, right, we conducted our first ever play test of our game. Yes. Mm-hmm. I think, right? It was last year. Yeah, last year. Yes. Last summer. And recently, in doing new work and producing new builds for our current version of our game, I created a new build recently, as in like last week. And I've got to say, playing our game that we're developing right now in comparison to the build we had last year is so much better. My favorite gaming experience is the pride I have in where our game
sense
is
of pride
at.
and accomplishment.
Yes, I mean, as I was telling Skylar, I feel like I haven't played that many games this year. Like I haven't spent as much time gaming this year in comparison to other years. I do think we were talking about obviously COVID, working from home, and just the reality of this year has really skewed our perception on time. I feel like it's just like shit's just like flying. Also, for me personally, I feel like I have worked a lot more this year. Like I have worked more hours in general on stuff, and I think me being home has a big part of that. Is a big part of that. So why I'm saying that is because undoubtedly I have spent much more time this year working on our game than I have playing games, for sure, without a doubt. And if I think about it, so I think that is the thing from a gaming experience perspective that I have enjoyed the most. Like, of course, I could be biased in thinking it got better, but of course I could be. But I really don't think. I think that it's pretty unanimous comparing certain elements, at least, of the build from last year, that the game is getting better, the game is getting more fun, and I am very excited for the future. Only new games I got that were from this year, I believe. Toby in chat is saying Doom and Kingdom Hearts were in there. Yeah, sorry. I was reading what he was saying. I thought he was maybe talking about us.
He wasn't.
But Toby's actual game of the year, Captain Toad on the Wii U.
That's not true. Go harass him in Discord. So I actually, to make you feel better about cheating, I thought of that as well as one of my favorite experiences. But mine was more in line with just doing the play tests. I've always loved participating in game betas, game alphas. for games, and it's so interesting to be on the other side of that, and to get to like just take like 2 10-hour days or whatever and have people come play our game, like watch people experience this thing we've been making, get to like ask them these questions we've written, hear their answers, really like critically talk to them about the game, and then take like some of these brilliant ideas that our playtesters have had and turn them into new features in the game that legitimately make the game way better, like proving the worth of the playtest so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We have made a conscious decision and made it a priority in developing. It's not even just this game. Forever, a priority of our studio will be to develop our games with playtests in mind, like trying to identify a target audience that actually wants to play this kind of game, showing them early builds and iterating on it with their feedback. And my God, like it is so good. It is so good.
Yeah, Toby says, can you give us an example of something you added from feedback? Well, a few things that have changed in the game. I know we don't reveal very much information, so this is going to be very vague, but one thing we've revamped is like the entire movement system of the game was almost fully revamped because of playtest feedback. We added a literal completely brand new mechanic. Like there's a new button that is mapped on the controller or on the mouse that was not anything before, that is now something.
Does a new thing.
That's completely new, like wasn't even part of the gameplay before and was added because of playtest feedback.
And that mechanic is so interesting, adding this mechanic that Skylar's talking about, because it is such a good example of like our growth through this as well, right? Like we aren't like 3 decades worth of experienced game developers, right? This is the first time we're doing this a lot of ways. And so in a lot of ways, even though we've read and maybe understood a lot of, educated ourselves a lot on certain game design fronts, it's one thing to read about it. It's another thing to like literally hear out of the playtester's mouth this like desire for more autonomy and more control over the world, right? Like, or over the experience that they're having. Right. And then being able to tie that to an idea that's like boils down to something as concrete as like a new mechanic. You know what I mean? So cool, man. Like making games is so fascinating, so interesting. Yes. So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say all right. The experience of making a game is definitely an amazing game experience for this year, and for the year to come, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have any other? Do you have any final thoughts about experiences or anything like that?
No, I mean, I like if some of the community events that we've done, especially like Rocket Walls, count as a gaming experience. Some of the Rocket League things we've done this year, I think is also an honorable mention. I feel like some of the directions that Rocket Wall is going in trying and like building relationships around the players themselves with the community and stuff, which has had great reception from the community, including those who are not normally part of like the Rocket. Some of the Rocket League's community engagement that we've had this year has been a lot of fun. Some good Rocket League games for sure. I shit on Lynx in a 1v1. That was
Tune
cool.
In soon for the game 3 or match 3 of the Anthony Lynx 1v1 series.
I'm not sure if I should like turn back on my I should care about my rank mode and get back into like, go to like push for a champ 2 or something again. But anyway,
now all I care about is my team fight tactics rank.
I think a priority for me should probably be play some of these other games first.
You gotta get some broad experience. But anyway, great. Do we have a Patreon question for today?
This week, I think the patrons were bums, and I don't think they actually remembered to shoot us a question.
All right, well then I'll answer Oreo Thug Jordan's question in the chat. Can I test the game for you? Smiley face. The answer is, eventually, hopefully, but you have to sign an NDA, and we're not going to let Toby play it, and you're not going to be allowed to tell him anything about it.
Yes.
Yeah, but the answer actually is hopefully yes. At some point, we would like to bring people in from the Discord community to play some sort of build of the game. It's probably not going to be soon. It's not going to be in like the next month or two, but hopefully sometime next year, we will be able to bring in some remote people to help play test the game.
I'll tell you this for sure, guaranteed 100%. In 2021, you will get at least the first glimpse of our game.
In 2020, I think more than that, I hope.
Oh, yes. Hopefully more than that.
Q1 2021, you'll get the first glimpse of our game.
Do you hear that? Yeah, it's probably true. Probably true. I mean, we're in the games business, so who knows? We'll delay it, but you will get your first glimpse. Oreo Thug is in chat. She's taking advantage of the Patreon
asking her
vacuum.
Second not being a Patreon question.
Can I at least ask the type of game? You can ask, but we still will not reveal.
Answer. No,
not yet. Not yet.
The type of game is fun game.
A fun game. A fun game. It's hard to say. I was going to say Toby would maybe like this, but he likes Captain Toad on the Wii U. I have no idea what that guy likes.
That is a puzzle game with no jumping. So
yeah, his game tastes are notably weird. So we'll see.
Also,
in 2021, it better be finished. Says Links. We'll
honorable
see.
mention to Agora as well. As a game experience of the year, just developing that, making Agora, like having design discussions with Anthony, really just building our whole social media presence has been a really unique experience. And honestly, like making Agora together has felt like almost making a game, right? Like it's like a very mini, not that complex game that we have already made, right? Like, which is really cool. We didn't necessarily expect to have done that before we made our actual game. Yeah,
there's a pivot we took. I want to say early this year or maybe late last year. I don't remember, but yes, how we've gone about implementing that. I think that was even like you say, of course, it's a small micro thing in comparison to the other game we're making. But the experience, I think you'll agree, like the experience of like making something, releasing it, seeing feedback about it, even sometimes excitement about it. I'll still remember that fucking first like Parthenon update where like for a weekend everyone was obsessed with trivia.
That was so hilarious. Fun. And even still there's people occasionally playing trivia. Hopefully we have new stuff on the horizon for Agora. We're just very busy with our actual game stuff trying to show you the game by Q1 2021. After that we've got some really cool Agora stuff coming. Some end game content for our dedicated fans. I think like Links to Toby, the Master Animus, all those people are going to be so hype about what that feature. And then hopefully new things being added to Parthenon, new ways to earn research besides trivia. That'll be really fun too. Yep. So look forward to that in 2021.
I think that's it. Yeah. Expect to set expectations appropriately. Like the Q1 2021 thing that you'll see is definitely more on like the teaser trailer side of things. Don't expect like a 10-minute gameplay demo, but it is the first glimpse. So
we said first glimpse. We said glimpse. We didn't say look. Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah. I'm waiting for my double research for trivia. In fact,
we haven't done that in a while. I mean, we might as well for holidays do like 2 weeks of double research, maybe.
We just announced it. As soon as we get off here, we'll double research in trivia.
Right when I turn this off, before I eat dinner, I'll double research in trivia, and then I'll be back for some Sound Voltex after I finish dinner.
Bang. So anyway, I think that's it. January 1st, I'm going to come at you guys asking for the first glimpse.
Do it.
Gets delayed.
Get on our asses. Put us in gear.
Yes, it turns out, Toby, it's true. We might save that glimpse for game rewards. Jeff has contacted us. He said,
he said we're not showing Elden Ring next year either. We need something to fill the space.
Yeah. Elden Ring and Starfield are still nowhere close to done. You guys want to put your glimpse in there? Sure. We know it's like equivalently anticipated.
Yeah. But I think we got second on the most anticipated game of the year poll at the Game Awards. It was Elden Ring.
It was really close, too.
It was our
barely.
Game. Unnamed KO Koala Entertainment Game. That's what it said.
Yes. Anyway, that is it.
Thank you all for for listening to the podcast. Thanks for an amazing year. Like, this year was our social media year, right? We didn't know any of the people we're talking to at the beginning of this year.
Maybe that's what we'll do next week. Maybe we'll do a just general KO Koala recap on the year. It might not be a super long one, but
yeah, that's general. Sick.
Yeah, sum up of the year.
Just like a story of KO Koala's 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we can provide a little bit of insight of like the story so far. I know sometimes I know we just post good memes and shit, but like there's a little bit more there too. So
yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. We love all of you.
We love you too.
Where can people find us, Anthony?
You can find us at kokoalaentertainment.com. There you can find a link to all our social media, including, especially, most importantly, Discord. At our Discord, that's like sort of the heart of our community. We've actually had a bunch of people join recently from Instagram. Yes. Know that also we've definitely established a rhythm on streaming. I have been streaming every weekday morning. We informally call it Coffee with Bramoala.
I need to watch one of these. What time is this at? Am I sleeping still?
To be honest, there's a pretty big range. It's somewhere between 7 a.m. our time to 11:30.
Oh, so I'm most likely sleeping, is what you're telling me.
Somewhere in the morning. I stream on Instagram for a while. We're also going to be working to make sure that Twitch can become a more regular thing, even if it is just a shorter thing every day, so that we can be there. And yes, the Discord is the heart of everything. If you want to get the first information, get the first glimpse, find us, talk to us where we're most available. It's definitely the Discord. Sorry, the first glimpse of our game. That's what I meant to say. And we do giveaways every 3 weeks. We do giveaways everywhere. If you're listening to this and you don't know who you are, you should be following us, because we just give shit away, if nothing else.
And if you think we haven't already shown you the first glimpse of our game, then you should go back and look at all the lore rewards you got and all of that, because that's a glimpse into the universe of the game that we've already released. So,
true.
There you go.
True. Right on. All right, guys. Until next time.
Thank you all.
Buenas noches.
Toby's right. Our Christmas giveaway is a $1 stimulus check to everyone in the Discord.
Well, we could probably do it.
I don't think so. How many people are in our Discord?
900.
Oh my God. No, thank you.
Yeah. Skylar and Josh are not going to be happy about that in our next budget estimation meeting.
When Anthony comes and says, I'm going to need $900 to give everyone in Discord $1, I'll be like, no. Well, Lynx Potter, I don't know if you remember, but there were images released in the very first lore reward.
Yeah, everyone forgets lore reward 1.
Every project got a unique image. So, there you go.
So, everyone above level 8 gets stimulus.
I mean, I'm down for that.
Yeah, right. Join the Discord. Join the Discord for an opportunity at a stimulus. We do what the government can't.
Next week, tune in for our stimulus phone drive, where we'll be raising money to send stimuluses to everyone. If you want a stimulus check, you have to pay us taxes. That's all I'm saying.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Shout out to all of our Koala Manjaro subscribers, especially I Got Your Potatoes, Marcus the OK, and Sand Squid. Thank you guys so much for your unbelievably generous support. And to all our Koala-tacular subscribers, thank you as well. If you'd like to join us on Patreon, know that you get a ton of stuff with your benefits. You can find all the information following the link in our bio wherever you're at. Go to our link tree, go to patreon.com, search KO Koala Entertainment. There you can find the multitude of benefits that await you when you subscribe. Thank you again so much.